Have you ever taken a photograph that just didn't capture what it felt like to stand there? The mountain doesn't feel quite as imposing, the composition isn't quite as strong, or the leading lines don't quite pull you into the scene. So today, I'm going to show you the Photoshop tool that I use to solve all three. It's the warp tool, and I think it's one of the most underrated tools in Photoshop. So my first example for this warp tool is this lovely photograph here that I took at the Llanberis Pass up in North Wales. Now, if you know the area, you will know how beautiful and rugged and mountainous that the area actually is. But when I took this photo, I used a wide angle, and one of the traits of the wide angle is the compression that it can add on to the rocky, hilly outcrops as well. So we're going to use the transform and warp tool to add some of that height back in. So to start off with, we're going to click on our background and press Ctrl J to duplicate it. Then we need to just go to Edit, Transform, and Warp. So this will bring up a 3x3 grid for reference purposes. And we've also got up here 3 split options. We've got split the warp crosswise, split the warp vertically, and we've also got split the warp horizontally. So for this photograph, we're going to be using split the warp horizontally. So if you click on that, and then we'll be able to add a horizontal line along here. So the first horizontal line that we're going to be adding is here, which is going to be our anchor point. Everything below this line is going to stay exactly the same, and everything above the line is going to warp. So we click again and add another line. So we place it to the top end of where we want things to warp from, which is just to the top of these mountains up here. So I'm not touching either of them then. So once you add that in, it's already selected for us. And all we need to do then is press the up arrow on our keyboard and it'll stretch it. So I'm going to go a little bit mad here so you can see the full effect. So you can add quite a nice height to them. And if you want to go back down, you can press down. Likewise, you can press left and right, which will be a little bit silly in this instance because we don't want to do that. We want to add height. So we'll just reset that there and we're going to go up. And then once we're happy with the height that we've reset into the photo, we just press enter. Now, I'm not just stretching the mountain into something unrealistic here. What I'm hoping to do is just simply restore a little of the scale that the camera compressed with the wide angle lens. So if we turn the top layer off with the warp on it, you can see the difference that it's made. Nice. Okay, so let's jump into our next example of this lovely black and white long exposure here. Now, the shipwreck itself already creates a strong leading line coming in through here like so. But in this composition, I didn't really quite get to do what I want to do, and I feel that the lines have just stopped short of becoming really a bit more of a powerful composition. So what I'm going to do here again is Ctrl J to duplicate our layer. And just before we get into using the warp tool, I'm just going to jump in and do some guides. So we're going to have 3x3, like so. So these are going to stay on the screen instead of changing. And then we're just going to quickly jump into transform and warp. I put the grid lines on so that when I change the warp, I've still got these areas to work with on the rule of thirds that I'm going to be using. So we're going to be use horizontal warp tool again. So click just below the water. And we're also going to put one on the horizon there. Now the first thing I'm going to do is stretch down the bottom here. So we're going to click on the line that we put on and just press down on the arrow key. And as you can see, it's stretching out and stretching out. So I'm going to bring this little bit of the shipwreck and the water, the flowing water, down into this bottom right, which is nice. And then I'm just going to quickly press on that, the other line that we put, and I'm going to bring this up to where the top third of the photo is. In fact, we might go a little bit higher because let's break that rule of thirds ever so slightly. So we are stretching out a little bit more. Nice. Now, what we need to do here though, is if we zoom in slightly, we've got lines coming down here that are squished. So I'm just going to press enter and you'll see them there. So we've got all these little banded lines going on here where we haven't factored that in. So if we press Ctrl Z, we're going to go back in, edit, transform, warp, replicate what we've just done. But this time we're going to factor into that bottom section as well. So going to squash that down with our arrow key, stretch it down, and then take that one and stretch it up. Very nice. But then what we're going to do is back down here, we're going to take these corner pieces of the grid. What we're going to do now is we're going to grab these corners pieces and just drag them down out of the way, like so. Move them out the way, drag down. So now, when we press enter, we don't have those lines that we had previously. And if we look, we've got a much more interesting composition with the eye leading in. So let's just clear these guidelines here. And you can see a lot better what we've done. So if we turn that off, it almost looks a little bit flat and boring there. And if we turn our warped version on, we've even got a bit of the golden ratio kicking in as well there. Okay, so let's jump into our third example now. So let's take that crop tool off there. So this is Avatar power station. This is a long exposure I took. There's a little link to the video up the top. Now, I love this shot. It's really cool. But what I took in the camera, I thought was a little bit more balanced and a little bit more structured. But when I got back to the computer and was editing it, I just knew something wasn't quite right with what I was trying to do. The structure in the long exposure, it just feels slightly uncomfortable within the framework. Now, I could crop it, but I do love the amount of negative space, and that was one of the main objectives of taking this photo. So instead, we're going to use the warp tool, and we're going to gently reposition our subject. So first of all, we're going to Control J to duplicate our layer. And then we are going to be using the rule of thirds on this one. So we're going to put on our guides again. New guide. Oh, cancel. View, guides, new guide layout. 3x3. Now, as you can see, the structure just isn't really sitting in a comfortable place. So we're going to move it across. So we're going to use two elements of the warp tool in this one. So open our warp. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our horizontal warp. And we're going to just click there on the horizon. We're going to raise everything up to this bottom line here, the third, well, not the horizon, but the center of this structure here. Lovely. Nice. So hit enter, and we can see automatically we've gone and raised our structure up to where it really should be in the frame. Now we're going to nudge it over to the right. So we're going to go into our warp tool again. Transform, warp, and this time we're going to use the horizontal element. So we're going to find the center of our structure here, like so. And then with it selected, we're just going to press right on the keyboard until this blue line lines up with this guideline here. So that way we know it's in the exact bottom third section. Lovely. So we'll press enter there. Fantastic job. So let's clear these guides off a moment. Filter, view, guides, clear guides. And instantly you can see that's a much more pleasing to the eye photo. The balance is really, really nice. In fact, you could almost say it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to do. And without knowing that what I've done, you wouldn't know. Let's turn it on and off. Look at the difference in such a small amount of time as well. So in moving this object now, everything is settled. The subject has room to breathe, and the negative space feels a lot more intentional. And all of this has been achieved without sacrificing a single pixel with cropping. Now, the warp tool isn't about making dramatic changes. It's about helping a photograph feel a little bit closer to the moment you've experienced. If someone enjoys the image without ever noticing the edit, then you've probably got it about right. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.